Yeah, you go ahead. Enjoy yourselves. I'll try to do it right this time. So here's what I'm doing. This is the dumbest thing, but so I'm a lobbyist. That's my job. But I used to be a clarinet player. So you know how people like to go like baseball stadiums and they go on road trips. I like to go to state capitals and play. Yeah. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, you too. Cheers. Yeah. Girl, if you're wondering if the lamp is playing Sibelius, it's because it is. And if you think that might be associated with you being high, that's not science. Like, those things have nothing to do with each other. Things can coexist and be correlated and have no causation whatsoever. Anyway, today's topic is actually, there's actually two topics: metronome markings actually, and plagiarism. It's always plagiarism. So YouTube accused me of a little piracy. In order to protect me from the faintest hit of piracy, told me about that, I had put on some copyrighted material, which I raised so many interesting questions. Because first of all, who knew Rose Etude, someone had the rights to those? Like, okay. And then the second question is like, what about the rest of them, bro? Like, the rest of them weren't good enough? You can only tell one of those were a Rose Etude? I played most of the notes of all of them. So there should be a bunch of copyright infringements. And then it also, raised some other interesting questions for me. Because, well, piracy, intellectual piracy. That doesn't quite work, does it? Did I try? Strife with hypocrisy, rife with contradiction, once you see distinction. Because as you see, the internet is just, after all, totally an attention-seeking enterprise. And so this is going to just be pretty much an Easter egg hunt of all kinds of copying somebody else's homework for your entertainment. Although it's going to be a lot from a particular picnic basket. Like, look at this shirt. Mouse rat, smelly cat. That works for like so many songs from that era. What was the other one? I want a mouse rat, smelly cat. But yes, mouse rat, smelly cat, mouse rat, smelly cat, mouse rat, smelly cat, mouse rat. These chicks don't even know the name of my band. It's Mouse Rat. Oh, also, there's some happy birthday. There's two of my friends happy birthday. I know both of you have nothing better to do than watch this. So, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. It ain't 2030 out here in the United States. So come at me, bro, for singing your song. But today's other topic is metronome markings, of course. So this is a capital caper, and for those who may have noticed that I'm not playing these etudes in exactly order, in chronological order. First of all, time isn't even real. So you're worrying about like playing etudes in order, and time is fake. Anyway, driving through Iowa, you can see all the food they're making. And then they're growing out there. But up in the big city, in Des Moines, they're so starved for entertainment that they're going to watch clarinet players practice at the State House. Like, that's all they've got better to do. The metronome marking that's actually in order today, which I will play that one coming up here in the 40, reminded me of something else that my father said about skiing, which is different than shit my dad said, to be clear. It's important to say it all. Fall forward and to the side to protect your knees. Because, sure, falling forward makes a lot of sense because as a consequence, you'll protect your knees. And falling to the side is also going to be helpful if you want to protect your knees. But unless you say the protect your knees part, you may forget the object is not to fall. It's to protect your knees because you need to stop. What else did my father say about... Oh, by the way, just in case you noticed this about the Sibelius, third movement of the Sibelius Second Symphony, this is just the first part real slow, so that you can hear it. I don't know why my password needs protected. I mean, I'm the only one here. I'm not worried about someone stealing my book. It's not copyrighted yet. You can't steal it. So, what my pop said about skiing. And this is very important information if you're a beginning skier or clarinet player or anything that involves relative speed. Don't go faster than you can. Oh, sorry, I forgot it. See, you got to say all the things. Because the most important thing is you should always go as fast as you can. That's just wisdom about skiing. Always go as fast as you can. Now, embedded in that wisdom is the following information. Number one, don't go faster than you can. Two, how fast you can go is not a fixed speed, but rather constantly variable based on the side cut of your ski, its turning radius, the fall line, the condition of the snow, your own skill, whether your edges are sharp or your boots sloppy, what's coming up next. Because say you're at Hunter Mountain, as fast as you can is always stopped before the cat track. If you're going slower than as fast as you can, three, if you're going slower than as fast as you can, or faster than as fast as you can, then your skis cannot do their job, which is based on your height and weight, which if you're skiing, it's eating, it's smoking weed regularly, and not drinking too much alcohol should be a constant. Therefore, why spend all the money on those skis at that length in the first place? So better to let them do their work so you can keep up, and most importantly, when necessary, because it's your responsibility alone to know when to stop. I mean, that was a pretty bad time to stop Sibelius, but like there's some other pieces I got to play because it's, there's a theme here. There's a theme, if you're following it, and I wasn't quite prepared, so now I got to find this music. Now I feel a little bit like, I have a little more sympathy for Charlie's chats on Fridays, because, even if you make a list, you're not always going to be completely prepared. Oh, that's what it was, Schumann. Because, my dad, father, and Schumann give very similar advice, which basically is, in regard to metronome markings, don't bother with that, and just go as fast as you can. This Rose Etude, while I'm looking for the Schumann, what I'm talking about is the 40, so here it is. So, even if you can, so first of all, if you don't know what a metronome marking is and know what I'm talking about metronome markings, I kind of wonder what else is cool about your life. Sounds awesome. But here, to give you some reference about a metronome marking, the one that everybody knows is la dum ba dum ba ya dum bum 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 does dum ba dum bum bum 120, right? So this piece, this etude, Sarah Rose writes the absurd marking of 142, which is like, okay, because like even if you can do it, right? Even if you can play all the notes, no one can really tell because it's just too fast. So just because you can do it doesn't mean it's to be done. I think I am right in saying that there's only so many notes that you can hear in the course of a millisecond. All educated people agree, either play it slow enough so that you can hear it, or fast enough so that it's cool. I'll give an example of how to play it slowly so that you can hear it. sure it's nice, but you see, it doesn't really quite work. Because what Rose is saying, like Schumann, like my father, with his bizarre, absurd marking, like Sibelius 2, or Tchaik 4, or the Schumann trio, the scherzo, is you should always play it, since it's just a bunch of scales, in the case of the etude, scales whizzing up and down like fireworks at a fairground. You should always play it as fast as you can, and then faster. So that was my approach the second time. To be honest, man, my ear couldn't tell the difference at all. The only difference was, the first time, there were simply too many notes. So I cut out a few, and it was perfect. There it is. Okay, so I have one more note here, and this is going to be interesting how I tie this all together, because the note is slut versus whore versus prostitute. There it is. Because, like, consistent and asshole, these are all words that people conflate, because a lot of times there are a lot of things similar, but they're actually different words on purpose. And I was talking to a stripper about this, describing how our jobs are similar, me being a lobbyist, her being a stripper, both being in the business of facilitating the disenfranchised. And where this applies to music is these words, slut, whore, prostitute, right? Because first of all, they're all cast in the pejorative, because for some reason we live in a society where we think pleasure is a negative, which is stupid. So let's not be stupid for just a minute and say that, well, you know, maybe it's a good idea that people can like what they do and do things just for fun, like an amateur or a slut. No, just the pleasure is just in doing, and I'm going to do it just because I feel like doing it. However, there's nothing wrong, whether the person happens to be good at it or not, for someone doing it because they wanted some reward for it, like a professional or a whore, right? Those are, I mean, you're doing this thing that you may or may not enjoy, that you may or may not be good at, but the reason you're doing it primarily, even if you enjoy it and are also good at it, is because someone's going to give you something for it. And finally, there are people who are both excellent at what they do and love it, and therefore I feel like every time they do it, they should probably be rewarded, like an artist or a prostitute. Good show. Too slow. Wasn't scary enough.